Hey, David Figler here, longtime supporter of the Black Mountain Institute at UNLV. They provide free literary programming for everyone in Las Vegas, and they've announced their full lineup of fall events. Launching it all, it's going to be a reading by acclaimed writer Nana Kwame Adjei-Brenyah. That's happening on September 14th. Go over to blackmountaininstitute.org to get more information on all the great events this cultural powerhouse is bringing to our community.
In the words of local band Pure Sport, it's pizza time. Today on CityCast Las Vegas, I'm talking to Gemini Stevens and Al Mancini, hosts of the Food and Loathing podcast. We're going to dish on all the different regional pizzas, where you can find them in Vegas, and try to figure out whether or not Vegas has its own style of pizza. It's Thursday, August 31st. I'm Vogue Robinson, and here's what Las Vegas is talking about. Gemini and Al, welcome to CityCast Las Vegas. How are y'all doing?
Oh, fantastic. Thank you. How are you?
Yeah, doing great. Thanks so much for having us.
Yeah. Well, I'm excited to talk to y'all about pizza because I really, I don't think I can get enough pizza. Like, pizza is still, like...
Is there such a thing?
Maybe, but it's still, a core joy memory. Even when they change the crust, I'm still like, I'll eat that. That looks pizza-esque. Put it in my mouth.
Well, yeah, you know what they say. Pizza, when it's good, it's great. And when it's not good, it's still good.
Exactly.
That's right.
So it's you can't go wrong with the basics of pizza, but it's much better to get good ones.
Yes, exactly.
Yes.
And that's a great segue too, because when I was thinking about it, I was talking to our producer and I was like, well, what makes a good slice of pizza? So that's my question for y'all. Like, regardless of regional style, what's your criteria for a good slice?
The biggest one for me is that I have to be able to pick it up with one hand. Like, I get that some people fold different styles and some other styles are cut tinier, but I need to be able to pick it up with one hand. If I'm fighting too much with both hands or anything like that, to me, it loses something. I don't like the sloppy, soggy pizza.
You need portability and ease.
Don't like it floppy and soggy, do you?
No.
Can't blame you for that. That's the old New Yorker in me will say you have to be able to fold it. You have to be able to do that. So there's certainly a little bit of truth to that. But honestly, I don't want to sound too much like a snob, but it really comes down to ingredients. The people who are using the right tomatoes or the right tomato sauces, who are using quality cheese, that's going to go across the board. There's a certain skill that's involved in making dough, and the best pizza makers are great bakers. They understand dough, they understand yeast, they understand hydration, they understand a whole bunch of things that I don't understand, but the real artists really know how to work the dough. And I'd say those are really the keys for me to making a great pizza.
Nice.
See, for me, it's the ratios. Like, what is the sauce to cheese to toppings ratios for me, so that I can get that, quote unquote perfect bite.
So I have a question for you. What is I'm going to jump in. What is your favorite sort of style? Because all of them are very different.
Ooh.
The ratios make certain pizzas.
Yeah, absolutely.
I just got into New York slices, and I do love, I love the capacity to fold it. And I love the idea of you give me a paper plate and a slice and it's just eat it.
Yeah.
And then they're not overly done. They're not, you don't have stuff tripping and falling off of it everywhere like some people make their pizzas.
But with New York, again, you get into that thing where you want the grease, right? Like a lot of times you say, I don't want it to be too greasy and stuff like that.
I want that paper plate to show it.
And the paper plate
there should be some grease on my plate. But
the paper plate should definitely be see-through by the time you're done eating it. And I mean, I've actually had it to the point where you sop it with napkins on the top when you're late night in a bar in New York. You go run to the pizza place. You have to throw the napkins on there to sop up the grease. Oh my God, I
love it.
But again, that's where I say New York is its own animal and what I look for in it, because it's a very, it's a very different type of pizza.
Yeah, and I love to savor food, but I don't need necessarily to savor pizza. the experience of buying it really quickly, having somebody hand it, like, order up, like, and just give me my slice and I can go. Something about that makes me think about what I think New York is like.
Well, you're right that the slice, being able to buy it by the slice is totally essential to New York.
Yeah.
And it's strange how few places outside of New York do it.
So with that in mind, this animal, right, New York pizza, what's your favorite place to get a good New York slice in Vegas?
For me in Las Vegas, you want to go to Pop-Up Pizza in the Plaza. You want to go to Evil Pie on Fremont Street.
Yo, super good.
And Good Pie does some great, also in the Arts District. So, that's interesting because it's all in downtown Las Vegas would be my 3 favorite places for a New York style pizza. For a real legit buy it by the slice shop New York experience, those 3 are by far the place to go. I also have a place in my neighborhood that I like that does kind of New York, New Jersey style place called Brooksy's. And
I love Brooksy's.
Yeah, it's a strange place because it's not, I rarely send people there if you're not in the neighborhood. I don't know if it's worth a trip across town, but they do a good hybrid between New York, New Jersey style, which are pretty similar anyway, but they don't sell it by the slice. So that's a key difference. But I like all those places. How about you, Gemini?
Somebody recently turned me on to Brooklyn's Best, and I thought by the name, oh, it's going to be sort of kitschy and this and that, but the pizza is good.
Okay.
And you can pick it up with one hand. I get a little bit of that grease, not as much as I kind of want.
Y'all can't see Al's face.
No,
I know.
I haven't had their New York. I really want to because everybody told me they love it. I went in there. I got one of their Sicilians, and I was really disappointed on a lot of levels.
The Sicilian is not.
It was a mess, and I didn't really enjoy the sauce. I don't know if they use a different sauce there than they use on their Sicilian and on their New York, but the sauce I had was almost like a grandma's Sunday gravy sauce with like big chunks of onion and things like that in it, and I wasn't digging that there myself.
Yeah, no, this was so different. It was really light as far as the toppings, but just enough to get a little bit in every bite. Like I said, I liked that I could fold it. I liked that it was just greasy enough. It wasn't too clean. There are places around town that I'll be nice and not name that have offered a New York style pizza, whether it's a bar or a restaurant or something like that, that it's too clean. It's too hard. Like they're trying too hard. And I don't feel that New York pizza should have to try that hard.
I'm not sure if what I'm about to say is true, but I believe it's true. And it's a great story, whether it's true or not. So I'm going to tell you.
Ooh.
I lived in New York City for 10 years. I made pizza at a punk rock bar in New York City. I made very bad pizza at a punk rock bar in New York City. But the one thing that we were kind of told, and that all my friends who, just worked part-time in pizzerias, the idea was that all New York pizzas tasted alike because they were all buying from the same mob-connected ingredient supply shops, right?
I hope that's true.
Hey, it's David Figler. CityCast Las Vegas is hiring another host to join our team. As a host, you'll help inspire our local listeners' passion for Las Vegas. You'll join our show's mission to help our neighbors better understand what matters locally and why. The host we're looking for may have a journalism background, or they may be a comedian, a musician, writer, educator, entrepreneur. Whatever they've been up to, this person needs to be a gifted speaker with strong feelings about the city, love, frustration, and definitely curiosity. More info on our website. That's citycast.fm/jobs. citycast.fm/jobs.
So, New York, I understand to an extent, but I've been hearing this thing about like Neapolitan style pizza.
That's OG pizza.
Okay, so explain. I was like, please explain.
Okay, so pizza started out in Napoli, in Italy.
Oh.
So that's what Neapolitan is, right? So, and it's usually a thinner crust. It might have some bubbling around the edges, but not too much. And the ingredients are super simple. Great tomatoes, a little bit of cheese, not too much. They really, kind of rein in the mozzarella, and good olive oil. And that's pretty much a margarita. Throw some basil on it. It's a margarita. And that was it. It was all about the dough, like Al was saying earlier, and then some super fresh ingredients on top just to add a little bit of a punch. So that's the original Neapolitan. It's tomatoes, olive oil, and
soft on the basil.
Just very carefully placed cheese so there's not taking over. Not like, U.S. pizza chains where, it's covered and
smothered,
stuffed, and, all of these layers of cheese or something like that.
And the Neapolitans are very proprietary about that. There's actually a group that goes out and they make sure that you're using the exact right flour, and that you're using the right kind of oven, and that you're using the right tomatoes and things like that. There are very few places that are actually a lot of local Las Vegans who do Neapolitan style pizza aren't interested in getting that certification because it doesn't allow them to be creative to certain extents. And I would point to 00 Pie and Pub, which is very within the tradition of Neapolitan, just opened, fantastic place. We would all call it Neapolitan style. I think it's wonderful Neapolitan style, but they're not looking to get that because they want to have a little more creativity. They want to play with their dough themselves. They want to, play with their crust, do things that are slightly different. So the only place that I know that's the association is VPN, and then I think VPN so it's the something pizza Neapolitano and then of America, right? And the only place in Las Vegas I know that has that certification is Settebello. They have two locations, right?
Oh, yep. There's one in Summerlin in the Village Square Shopping Center, over where the old Regal Theater was on Fort Apache and Sahara. Yeah. And there's one in the district at Green Valley, on the Whole Foods side.
Yeah. And that pizza, the story is, I guess, Gemini, you may know this better than I, but the pizza contest to make a pizza for the Queen of Italy in the day was held in Naples, and she was, I believe, named Margherita, and they named this one after her. And that's why
that is supposedly the origin. Yes.
And the ingredients are the three colors of the Italian flag. So it's the red tomatoes, the green basil, and then the white of the cheese.
Yeah, so pizza is really way more classy than we have turned it into.
Oh, yes. Like. And because you mentioned 00 Pie and Pub, I also want to mention Solamente Pizza that's having their grand opening Friday the 1st, because they do something similar. It's called a Canotto, or Contemporary Neapolitan.
Ooh.
Solamente used to be at Vegas Test Kitchen downtown, and they're opening soon in the Town Square Shopping Center near the airport.
Yes, and they're very, very good, but it would also never get that certification because he goes nuts with his hydration.
That's why it has its own title.
Yeah, that's why he had to come up with a new name for it. So, and I feel like there are a lot of pizza guys and women who love Neapolitan pizza, but they also don't want to be tied down by all of the rules.
Yeah, and for him, it goes, like Al said, I'm going to keep saying this, it goes back to the dough. He does a naturally leavened dough, and the Canotto means dinghy or raft in reference to the raft-like raise to the dough on the outside. Okay. So it kind of looks like a pool float, a donut pool float, with a beautiful, pizza and stuff in the middle.
Yes. Yeah. So that you can flip it up. Like it's not stuffed, but it's so fluffy you can peel it open. That's good bread.
Yeah.
That is good bread.
Oh, yeah.
I know. Well, not I know. I heard there's a Detroit style pizza. So what makes Detroit style pizza different than the other types we've talked about?
Well, first of all, it got the name because it started in Detroit. It used to be cooked in automotive pans.
No way.
And that's how the style started.
So Detroit.
So very Detroit, right?
That's
Still very automotive related.
Motor City.
Just making it up right while you're working on the cars right there in Motor City.
Right. And it's kind of upside down. So it's the dough, and you can put some olive oil and stuff on there if you want to, but you put your seasonings and your cheese and then your sauce.
Oh.
And Detroit is one of the three big, I would say, square or rectangular styles of pizza. They all use pans, but they use different kind of pans. And that's the big difference. So you have Sicilian, you have Detroit, and you have grandma style. Those would be the three big square or rectangular styles of pizza. Yes. Now, you asked about Detroit. So for me, the key to Detroit is the cheese caramelizes around the edges. So you get this crispy crunch of slightly burnt, just barely burnt cheese that is just so beautiful. And that's the appeal, as opposed to the others, which have their own appeals in their own way.
Right. They definitely have their own appeal, but Detroit is specific to pushing down the dough, putting everything on top. The sauce is what covers the top, not the cheese that we're so used to in so many other pizzas. Yeah. And you push that cheese all the way to the edges and in that square pan. So as it melts, it goes down the whole edges and underneath the pizza. So the crust itself is usually super, super crispy on the outside and then nice and fluffy in the interior. So when you're biting in, you get that crunch of the crust, the extra crunch of that caramelized cheese, and then whatever it is you ordered on your pizza.
Yeah, if you're one of these people who, like, if you get, say, I don't know, baked ziti or something when you're out, or lasagna, if you're one of the people who loves it when there's a little bit of overcooking, you like that cheese that's overcooked on the top, then you want Detroit pizza. That's the way to go.
Yes, absolutely.
So where can we find that? Where do you recommend we go to find that in Vegas?
Vincent Rotolo does an amazing one at Good Pie.
At Good Pie.
Yeah, really good.
Good Pie does one. Naked City has their version of it. They are mostly Italian, but they've done the Detroits a few times. Nathan's North Side on Lake Mead.
I have been there. Okay.
Yes. And also Red Dwarf.
Oh, Red Dwarf, yes, which is mostly known as a bar, but they do fantastic
It's a beer
pizza.
and tiki bar with fantastic pizza. And they even have brunch pizzas.
Yeah. And a great rum selection, too. So.
And a great rum selection, yes, because... Yes.
Yeah. No, those would be the top spots. I totally singed on Red Dwarf. Good call.
Nice.
Yeah.
And the truth of the matter is, the pizza ovens that you can put in a bar, I'm told by pizza makers, are getting so much better these days.
Ooh.
And as a result, bar pizzas are getting so much better. And, you'll see an example when the Vegas Pizza Expo comes to town, and they're all out there cooking in the lot at the industrial space, and they're all using portable ovens and, not using the same ovens they would have in their place. And they love it because the quality of portable ovens has just gone through the roof in recent years.
This is excellent use of technology. And
yes,
right?
I like it.
Let somebody else work on putting a man on the moon. I want my scientists working on the best pizza available.
Take the pizza oven outside and make it portable.
Yes.
But as much as I do enjoy a good Detroit pizza, when it comes to square pizzas, I'm a sucker for Sicilian pizza. And that is the light. When it's done right, it's like a light as air focaccia kind of dough, and it's a little mixed up with how they put the cheese and how they put the sauce. It's not, it's a little weird, a little funky, but
everybody has their own version of it, I think.
Yeah, and if you get it from certain people, it'll be really heavy because it can be heavy. But if you get it from a really great pizza maker like Metro Pizza, Chris Decker up there, you'll look at it and you'll think this thing is weigh 20 pounds, and your arm will just shoot up in the air when you try to lift it up because it's so light, because they take so much pride in how they make their dough there.
Right.
So if you're a fan of Sicilian, of course, I would always go to Metro Pizza for that. But without that, Dom DeMarco's, which is
Dom DeMarco's is pretty damn good.
Yeah, they're on the west side, West Charleston. They're a sister restaurant of DeFara's Pizza in Brooklyn, and they do a fantastic Sicilian pizza. They do the Dom DeMarco special with meats on it, and if you want to do Sicilian, that's where I'm going.
So what about Vegas? Do we have a pizza style?
I would say, I look at people like Chris Palmieri with his, quote, Buffalo-style pizza. That's native to Las Vegas. He's a great chef. He was trying to channel what he did at home. But I think that is very native to Las Vegas-style pizza, even though it's called Buffalo.
I think that Canado pizza as well is very Vegas. I've had so many people come and visit. Solamente, even the versions that Michael Vacnine is doing over at 00 Pie and Pub. People aren't seeing that same with the puffier crust and, the lower internal area where they put all the different toppings. And I haven't seen it pretty much anywhere I've traveled. It's always been very almost textbook. Am I ordering a Sicilian pizza? Am I ordering a Detroit pizza? That kind of thing. So I'd like to think that we have a couple of things out there that are unique to Vegas.
But I don't know that we should even care if Las Vegas has a Las Vegas style pizza, because I don't know that in 2023 the world is the same, where each city only had one style of pizza. You see, these styles developed originally, and everybody in the neighborhood made it the same way. Everybody in the city made it the same way. And if you made it differently, nobody wanted it, right? And then when people traveled to other cities, it was new and exotic what they were doing. That was the days before the Food Network. That was the days before podcasts. That was the days before you could order ingredients from everywhere in the country and have them shipped to your pizzeria if you want them. So Las Vegas has always been great as a melting pot for culinary traditions. We're like that with barbecue. We're like that with pizza. And I would not trade that for the world.
That's a good point.
I love that. So we got, for sure, check out Solamente's and check out Naked City Pizza Shop if you want something that feels like the Vegas vibe. And really, the Vegas vibe, the Vegas style is we got a little bit of everything.
Yeah, and let me throw out Yukon Pizza.
Yes.
Which is a phenomenal pizza place. And
oh my God, so good.
They got their start at the Vegas Test Kitchen, sort of. They really got their start cooking in the owner's backyard.
In the backyard.
And selling via social media, especially during the pandemic. And that's really a very Vegas-born style of pizza as well.
Yep. Super dope. Oh my gosh. Well, Gemini and Al, thanks so much for all this pizza knowledge and pizza recommendations. I feel like everybody, we have our homework assignments. Next time you go on a pizza date, check out one of these spots and enjoy your delicious pizza.
Yeah, thanks for having us.
Thank you.
You can find more from Al on his app Neon Feast. It's a dining guide to Vegas. And look for more of Gemini's writing at offthestrip.com. Also, don't miss Solamente Pizza opening in Town Square on September 1st. That's all for today here on CityCast Las Vegas. Tell us in a review where to find your favorite slice in Vegas. We'll be back tomorrow morning with more news from around the city. Take care.
If you try to go too high end in the ingredients on New York pizza, it doesn't have that mob connected.
It doesn't feel
we'll
right.
Break your arm if you don't use this, use our ingredients kind of feel. So yeah, that could have something to do with it.
What's in your sauce? What's the secret? Mob. Mob involvement is the secret in the sauce.
Yes.
That's right.